I started calling my mom Ms. Minsu when I was 8, all because of my parents' divorce back then. Both of them were teary-eyed, holding on to my younger brother and refusing to let go. When it was my turn, they only asked vaguely who I wanted to follow. I paused, but before I could speak, my brother rushed to choose our father, whose career was taking off. I stayed with mom and started a street stall. We eventually grew it into a restaurant chain. On the day we hit a net worth of 10 billion, mom drank and cried with laughter, saying, "Zifeng, you know, I finally have the power to bring my favorite son, Yunheng, back to my side." It was also that day that my brother returned. He didn't just steal all of mom's love. He stole my girlfriend of 8 years, the lead singer of our band. He even stole my position as the lead singer. I felt bitter inside, but I accepted it all calmly. Because I've known for a long time that in this world, nothing truly belongs to me. That night, I had many dreams. I dreamed that when my parents divorced at 8, I followed neither of them, but stayed alone in Kuanyuan to live with my grandma. I dreamed that at 18, I didn't debut with Xie Qingwan in the Wildfire Band, but went solo instead. That was a life completely different from the one I have now. Early the next morning, I walked out of the villa. My female bodyguard, Song Shui-ying, said to me, "Young master, President Su asked me to take you to the Peninsula Hotel." I was confused. What did Ms. Su want with me? Half an hour later, at the Peninsula Hotel, I pushed open the door to the private room. From behind the screen, I heard Xiao Yunheng laughing and chatting with our parents. "Dad, Mom, don't worry. Sister Qingwan loves me. As long as she's around, I definitely won't be mistreated." Ms. Su's voice rang out. "That's true, but I'm just worried your brother will hurt you. You don't know your brother's personality. He's used to being alone. Even though I raised him, I never felt close to him." Xiao's father chimed in. "Last time I met Zifeng, he didn't even call me dad. It's clear this son has no sense of blood ties or family affection in his heart. To be honest, even if you take Yunheng away, I don't want to take him abroad to live with us. My father-son bond with him was severed 18 years ago." Listening to these words, I felt my numb heart torn open again, leaving a bloody wound. No wonder they say online that the words of those closest to you hurt the most. Expressionless, I walked around the screen. Only then did I see the parents who had fought so bitterly back then now sitting side by side with Xiao Yunheng between them. He had an arm around each of them, looking incredibly close. "Brother, you're here. Have a seat." Xiao Yunheng didn't feel awkward at all. He greeted me proactively. I adjusted my breathing and spoke flatly. "Just say what you have to say. I don't want to waste time." Hearing this, my parents frowned simultaneously. Ms. Su took Xiao Yunheng's hand and slowly placed it over Xiao's father's hand. "Your father and I called you here to announce something. We've decided to remarry for Yunheng's sake." Looking at their 3 overlapping hands, I suddenly found myself speechless. I clenched my fist, pretending to be calm. "Congratulations. Your family of 3 can finally live happily together." Seeing my pale face, Miss Su felt a bit of pity. "Zifeng, don't say that. Don't you want your father and me to get back together? Can't the 4 of us live happily together from now on?" I couldn't help but laugh at that. "Ms. Su, Mr. Xiao, do you really want to live with me?" Both of them fell silent instantly. I knew it would be like this. I walked straight up to Ms. Su. "Stop pretending. I know what you're thinking. Give me 2 billion and I'll stay far away. I won't stand in the way of your mother's son." Or father-son bonding? Ms. Su's brow furrowed at the mention of 2 billion. "Where would I get that much money? Besides, what do you need all that for?" I smiled. "What I do is none of your business. If I don't see the money within 3 days, then I will go public with how Xiao Yunheng home-wrecked my relationship with Xie Qingguan and became a side piece." Xiao Yunheng turned pale and looked at Ms. Su in a panic. "Mom!" Ms. Su patted his hand comfortingly, then turned to me with a completely cold face. "Is money really more important than your brother? I've really spoiled you too much over the years. If you want money, fine. I'll give it to you now, but once you take it, you have nothing to do with this family." She then took out her phone and messaged her assistant. Not long after, I received a bank transfer notification. Account ending in 1487. 2 billion received. Looking at the text, I was dazed for a moment. Ms. Mensu really does love Xiao Yunheng. She didn't even blink at 2 billion for him. I turned off my phone. I glanced at the 3 of them one last time. "Ms. Isu, Mr. Xiao, Xiao Yunheng, I wish your family of 3 a long and happy life." With that, I turned and left. Song Suiying was standing straight by the door, but she didn't follow me as usual. I looked at her. "Why aren't you coming?" Mrs. Su walked out and answered for her. "Yunheng just entered the entertainment industry. I've decided to have Suiying stay by his side to protect him." Hearing this, I just looked at Song Suiying and asked calmly, "Is this what you want? If you don't want to go with him, I will pay your salary myself from now on." Flash of guilt crossed Song Shuang's usually icy face, but in the end, her gaze fixed on Xiao Yunheng inside the room and didn't move for a long time. She lowered her head slightly, her tone apologetic. I'm sorry, young master. It's my own choice to protect the second young master. I'm willing to accept President Su's arrangement. At this moment, I found it almost laughable. So you've fallen for him too? Song Shuang remained silent, not daring to look me in the eye. Xiao Yunheng, who had come out with them, looked innocent. Mom, you should let Sister Sui Ying go back to protecting Big Brother. I don't want to take anything else from him. I'm afraid it'll make him hate me even more. I exposed him ruthlessly. Enough. Stop acting so hypocritical. Then I looked at Song Shuang, all warmth gone from my eyes, unfaithful once, useless forever. Song Shuang, I will never want you again. She was stunned. But as she watched my retreating back, she never followed me. Walking out of the Peninsula Hotel and seeing the crowds, I suddenly realized that accepting your parents don't love you, accepting your lover doesn't love you, and accepting your friends don't love you. It isn't that hard. Then my phone vibrated. It was my manager, Luo Rui. Zifeng, have you really decided to give all your current endorsements to Xiao Yunheng? I answered simply, whatever resources I have left, give them all to him. I don't want any of it. Luo Rui felt it was a pity. Honestly, those resources only have value if they're with you. I didn't care. I just tossed 2 coins and boarded the city loot bus. Brother Luo Rui, I want to ask you to do one last thing for me. I received offers from Eastman, Juilliard, and Curtis, but I've decided to go to Curtis, Philadelphia, USA. Please help me handle my visa and a permanent residency permit. No problem. I'll get it done for you within 3 days. Thank you, I said sincerely. Don't mention it. After all, we were colleagues. You're the most low-maintenance artist I've ever managed. I hope you get what you want. I hung up the phone. I looked at the text message for the $2 billion deposit and let out a long breath. From now on, I finally don't have to live for others. I can live for myself. That night, I finally had a good night's sleep. On the 3rd day, in this villa where I lived for 8 years, except for large appliances and furniture, not a single personal item remained. I got a call from my manager, Luo Rui. Zifeng, I've handled the visa and permanent residency you wanted. The flight is booked for 8 p.m. tonight. Luo Rui hesitated for a moment. Tonight, Qingwan and Yunheng have a red carpet event. I have to be there personally, so I can't see you off at the airport. I looked at Victoria Harbor under the sun and said gently, I understand, Brother Luo Rui. Thank you so much for everything over these 8 years. Luo Rui was silent for a few seconds, his voice choking up. Safe travels, Zifeng. Take good care of yourself in the States. I will. While in the VIP lounge, I opened my phone and saw many familiar celebrities congratulating Xiao Yunheng on winning the New Talent Award. Through fan photos on Weibo, I saw crowds of people holding Xiao Yunheng's support boards, shouting his name. Even the top 10 trending topics on Weibo were all about Xiao Yunheng. I randomly clicked on a red carpet livestream link. Xie Qingwan looked cold and radiant in a red dress, while Xiao Yunheng, who was on her arm, had a triumphant smile. The most eye-catching thing was the multi-million-dollar watch on his wrist. I recognized it instantly. It was the custom limited edition private commission Xie Qingwan spent $5.8 million on. I exited the live stream and logged into my personal Weibo account. I drafted a post. I am Xiao Zifeng, the former lead singer of Wildfire Band. First, congratulations to Yunheng for winning the New Talent Award today. I sincerely hope you can use your own voice in the future to sing your own songs instead of paying sound engineers massive sums to tune your voice into mine. Don't lie to your fans and don't lie to yourself. Second, Xie Qingwan and I did indeed have a secret 8-year relationship. It's just that this year, she fell for Xiao Yunheng and stopped loving me. No one can stand having their heart trampled on forever. So I am stepping back. I sincerely wish Xie Qingwan and Xiao Yunheng happiness. Thank you to the fans for your support and love along the way, but today I'm saying goodbye to everyone. I've decided to quit the entertainment industry indefinitely and will no longer participate in any activities as an artist until we meet again. After I clicked publish, countless messages flooded in. My phone wouldn't stop vibrating. I just calmly pulled out the SIM card, threw it in the trash, and boarded the plane without looking back. Xie Qingwan, goodbye forever. At 8 p.m. sharp, the Boeing 787's navigation lights flashed as it disappeared into the endless night. At the same time, as the Golden Disc Awards neared their end, Xie Qingwan smirked at the camera and gave a bye-bye gesture. She then bowed and left her exclusive seat. Fans in the audience saw this on the big screen and immediately erupted into deafening screams. Little diva, we'll love you forever. Hearing this, Xie Qingwan, making sure she wasn't blocking anyone's view, stood up and blew a kiss to the crowd. Another wave of screams followed, but she didn't look back, heading straight backstage. For some reason, The moment she saw Xiao Yunheng win the award, she suddenly wanted to see me very, very much. As for Xiao Yunheng, she couldn't even care how he'd react when he saw she was gone after he got off stage. Sister Qingguan, the ceremony isn't over yet. Why are you leaving early? Her assistant, Xiao Xin, saw her and immediately looked shocked and flustered. Xie Qingguan was busy fiddling with her bracelet and didn't notice anything was off. She just replied, "Tell the driver to wait in the underground parking lot. I'm going to Xiao Zifeng's place." Tossing the bracelet into the assistant's arms, she added, "Didn't I buy that watch, ring, and couple's necklace set at the Christie's auction? Bring them all. He'll definitely like them." Hearing this, Xiao Xin spoke up nervously. "That custom limited edition watch, didn't you give it to Yunhang to wear on the red carpet?" Xie Qingguan's brow furrowed slightly. She had bought too many things at the auction. She hadn't even noticed what was on Xiao Yunhang's wrist today. Yao Xin watched her expression and spoke carefully. "Sister, how about we don't go to Brother Zifeng's today? I'll have the driver take you to Langkuai Fong or Tsimsha Tsui." Xie Qingguan grew irritated. "Forget it. Grab the other stuff and we'll go straight to Mount Butler Road." She was firm. Xiao Xin didn't dare say more and could only grip her phone tightly. Luckily, during red carpet events, artists don't carry their phones. Otherwise, the situation would be out of control. Even so, Xiao Xin was terrified on the way to my place, because when they were moving through the backstage area, everyone's gaze toward her and Xie Qingguan was full of hesitation and unspoken words. Even as a non-celebrity, she could feel it, let alone Xie Qingguan, who was hailed as a born idol. However, at this moment, Xie Qingguan only felt her plans had been disrupted. She didn't care about those prying eyes at all. An hour later, at the villa on 12 Mount Butler Road, a fully disguised Xie Qingguan stepped out of the car. She went straight to the door and pressed the fingerprint lock. The armored door didn't open. Instead, a cold electronic voice said, "Hello?" Fingerprint error. Xie Qingguan's inner anxiety grew. She tried again, refusing to believe it. But this time, the female voice turned into a sharp warning. "Unidentified personnel detected. Illegal entry attempted. Please leave the monitored area immediately." Before the piercing alarm could sound, the villa door opened from the inside. Xie Qingguan frowned, about to ask why I'd changed the code, but froze when she saw a strange face. "Who are you?" The owner was a fan of Xie Qingguan and recognized her immediately. He was excited and surprised. "Xie Qingguan, what are you doing at my house? Wait, no." The owner realized what was happening, and his expression became awkward. "You're here for Xiao Zifeng, right? He sold this villa to me 3 days ago. Didn't you know?" "What?" Xie Qingguan's second shock of the day erupted. She looked at her assistant, Xiao Xin. Her tone turned sharp. "What the hell is going on? Why did Xiao Zifeng sell the house? Where is he now?" Xiao Xin looked like she was about to cry, realizing she couldn't hide it anymore. She tremblingly pulled out her phone. Her voice shook. "Sister Qingguan, please don't be mad after you see this. It wasn't my idea to keep it from you. Brother Luo Rui told me to." Ignoring the assistant's explanation, Xie Qingguan unlocked the phone and opened Weibo. What caught her eye were dozens of trending topics marked with breaking, and the very top one read, "Xiao Zifeng announces retirement from entertainment industry." In an instant, Xie Qingguan felt her blood rush to her head and the world began to spin. "Sister Qingguan, are you okay? Do you want to come inside and sit down?" The assistant and the owner's voices rang in her ears simultaneously. Xie Qingguan finally regained her senses, but it was followed by a massive surge of rage. She gritted her teeth. "Xiao Zifeng, you're something else. How dare you play me like this?" Xiao Xin looked at Xie Qingguan with concern, terrified that she might do something reckless right under her nose. But Xie Qingguan, radiating a chilling aura, just clutched her phone and walked toward the Rolls-Royce without a second glance. She didn't look back, but ordered someone to buy the villa, no matter the price the owner asked. "Yes," Xiao Xin replied hurriedly. Inside the Rolls-Royce, the heavy atmosphere persisted. The driver and Xiao Xin sat in the front, holding their breath and staying quiet. After a long silence, Xiao Xin gathered her courage to ask, "Where are we going now?" Xie Qingguan's face was grim as she hissed out one word, "Company." Half an hour later, at the Lushi Entertainment Center, Xie Qingguan slammed open the door to her manager Luo Rui's office with aggressive momentum. "You knew Xiao Zifeng was quitting the industry all along, didn't you? Why didn't you tell me immediately?" Luo Rui nodded with a troubled expression. "Both you and Zifeng have been with me since you debuted it. I have feelings for you, and of course I have feelings for Zifeng too. I've watched you both struggle over the years. Now that he wants out and begged me to keep his secret, how could I refuse?" Hearing this, Xie Qingguan sneered. "Feelings? You've been in this business for over 20 years as a cutthroat top manager. And you still have feelings? Be real. How much did he pay you for your silence? Realizing he couldn't hide it, Luo Rui held up 5 fingers. Jie Qingwan nodded knowingly, the fire in her heart burning even hotter. Recalling that just 3 days ago she had talked about marrying me, a mocking smile touched her lips. How ungrateful. Recalling that just 3 days ago she had talked about marrying me, a mocking smile touched her lips. How ungrateful. Over a guy like Xiao Yunheng, he actually pulls a stunt like quitting the industry to spite me? Hearing this, Luo Rui hesitated to speak. At that moment, an employee from the PR department burst through the door panting. Luo, this is bad! Because of Zifeng's retirement statement, the rumors are spiraling out of control. Everyone is questioning if Yunheng actually deserved that award. Some aggressive fans even found a sound engineer's post roasting Yunheng on Weibo. By comparing the timeline of the concert, they've confirmed that Yunheng was lip-syncing. Luo Rui's face darkened. Wildfire Band was always known as the industry's powerhouse vocalists. In the 8 years since debut, they never lip-synced. They were seen as the one clean stream in this dirty business. If this continues to spread, Wildfire Band's carefully maintained image of 8 years is toast. Luo Rui and Xie Qingwan locked eyes. Both had already reached a decision. But since Luo Rui was just an employee at Key's Entertainment, he needed Xie Qingwan to give the final word. The office felt eerily silent. Xie Qingwan frowned, rubbing her throbbing temples. Tell PR to delete posts and hire high-quality bots. Contact the influential marketing accounts. Yunheng's image must not be ruined. If necessary, say that Xiao Zifeng agreed to authorize the use of his vocals at the time. Luo Rui was shocked. Once we take that step, Zifeng will be the one who gets hurt. Are we really using that as our last resort? Xie Qingwan looked up, staring at Luo Rui with cold eyes. Since when did you become so indecisive? Her voice was brutally cold. Xiao Zifeng didn't care about anyone when he posted that statement. Her voice was brutally cold. When Xiao Zifeng posted his retirement statement without a second thought, did he care if anyone lived or died? He just wants to destroy Yunheng. Thunder suddenly rumbled in the distance, followed by a flash of lightning that illuminated Xie Qingwan's icy face. Everyone heard her whisper like a demon. Since Xiao Zifeng dares to play me like this, I don't mind making sure he ends up ruined and disgraced. As Xie Qingwan's voice trailed off, everyone's expression changed. The office became deathly quiet. Even as a veteran manager who had seen every storm in the industry, Luo Rui showed a flash of intense pity on his face. But he still nodded. I understand, Director Z. He signaled the PR employee to go to the conference room and finalize the specific plan. Watching Luo Rui leave, Xie Qingwan's hand at her side tightened, but she remained silent. Assistant Xiaoxin, seeing her cold expression, said cautiously, Sister Wan, I'll get you some water. Calm down. Xie Qingwan didn't speak, but as Xiaoxin reached the door, a low, suppressed voice came from behind. Tell me, why did he leave? Did I do something wrong? She sounded genuinely confused, but Xiaoxin didn't know how to answer. She could only bite the bullet and say, Brother Zifeng might just be in a bad mood and acted on impulse. Sister Wan, don't blame yourself. Xie Qingwan suddenly found it a bit funny. She had lived selfishly for 27 years. How could she possibly feel guilt because of me? Just then, her phone vibrated. It was Xiao Yunheng. Xie Qingwan answered, her brow furrowing subconsciously. Xiao Yunheng's voice sounded aggrieved. Sister Wan, have you seen the comments online? I don't know why Big Brother... Have you seen those comments online? I don't know why Big Brother did that. It's not just my reputation being hurt now. I don't mind if they flame me, but I don't think it's fair to drag you and the band into this. Xie Qingwan pinched the bridge of her nose, suddenly finding this conversation exhausting. Losing her patience, she said bluntly, just say what you want. I don't like playing games. How do you want me to help you? On the other end, Xiao Yunheng was silent for a few seconds before his voice became even more pitiful. Sister Wan, don't be mad. I just want you to post something on Weibo for me. You don't need to say much. Just show that you're on my side. You're a top star. If you speak, people will believe it. Fine, Xie Qingwan agreed. After a long silence, she added stiffly, Yunheng, stay off the internet for now. Leave it to me. I won't let anything happen to you. Xiao Yunheng choked back a sob and replied, Okay, I'll listen to you, Sister Wan. After hanging up, Xie Qingwan didn't feel any relief. Instead, she felt like a heavy stone was pressing down on her, making it hard to breathe. She opened her phone and logged into the Wildfire Band Xie Qingwan Weibo account. Assistant Xiaoxin, seeing this, quickly spoke up. Sister, maybe consult the company or Brother Luo Rui before you post the content? Xie Qingwan gave her a cold glance. Xiaoxin immediately shut up and scurried out the door. The massive office was suddenly left with only Xie Qingwan. She stood by the floor-to-ceiling window. The gray sky loomed over the harbor and heavy raindrops slammed against the glass. For some reason, she felt stifled and hot. She typed, What Xiao Zifeng said is not the truth. But then she deleted it and retyped. Xiao Yunhang is innocent and honorable. After editing several times, as she was about to hit post, my calm face suddenly flashed before Xie Qingwan's eyes. In the end, she didn't press the post button. That night, across the ocean, several people with heavy hearts remained sleepless. Early the next morning, a piece of gossip quietly hit the top of the trending topics. Number 1. Xie Qingwan. Xiao Yunhang and Xie Qingwan's late-night secret meeting at the Four Seasons Hotel. Assistant buys contraceptives at a pharmacy. At number 35, Peak Road, inside a massive living room, thick layers of curtains blocked out all light. Only a small orange light glowed in the center of the open kitchen island. Xie Qingwan was wearing soft, smooth silk pajamas with the collar slightly open. Her forehead was damp and her brow furrowed, as if she had just woken from a nightmare. And that was the truth. Xie Qingwan downed several gulps of ice water, but her heart wouldn't settle. She had actually dreamed that something happened to me. The pain of having her heart sliced open felt too real to be just a dream. Listening to Hakan Lee's music, Xie Qingwan subconsciously hummed the next line. If love is like this, it will only make me tirelessly weary, powerless to hold on. Xie Qingwan suddenly froze. When I used to stay at this villa, I loved listening to old songs, so she could hum a few lines too. But hearing this song echo through the empty villa felt strangely fitting. Xie Qingwan gripped her bottle of Perrier, unable to stop thinking about last night. When she went to the Four Seasons with Xiao Yunhang, that was her way of shifting public opinion. Those photos were staged for the paparazzi to catch, but what if I had seen that news too? Xie Qingwan frowned. She didn't understand why. She was suddenly worried about that. Just then, her phone vibrated again. It was her manager, Luo Rui. Director Z. You and Yunhang have an endorsement shoot at 3 p.m. today. Don't be late. Xie Qingwan replied. Okay. 10 minutes later, Xie Qingwan left in her van. Over the next 3 days, her schedule was almost unaffected by the public backlash. She and Xiao Yunhang were inseparable, acting as close as ever. But the fans weren't buying it anymore. Xiao Yunhang had been pinned to the pillar of shame. Beyond massive online harassment, it had even escalated to real-life violence. He was hit in the forehead with a microphone by an anti-fan. The news of the ambulance taking him away hit the trending topics. This feels so good. Who told Xiao Yunhang to lip-sync? To be honest, I can tolerate stealing a girl, but lip-syncing is a no-go. Why focus on him? It'll only be legendary when an anti-fan exposes Xie Qingwan. After all, your sister Wan is the source of all this. These two brothers were ruined by one woman. What does this have to do with Xie Qingwan? Is it a crime to be charming? Am I the only one who thinks real-life violence is terrifying? I remember Xiao Zifeng was also a victim of it before. Xie Qingwan's attitude wasn't like this back then. She sent that guy straight to jail. He's probably still serving time. Damn. Turns out Xie Qingwan's true love was Xiao Zifeng all along. But where is he now? Meanwhile, at Hong Kong Sanatorium and Hospital, Xie Qingwan was fully disguised. Under the protection of bodyguards, she took the VIP elevator and walked toward the high-end ward. As she was about to enter, she heard Xiao Yunhang's voice complaining to someone. I really don't want to be a celebrity anymore. I thought I'd be loved and admired by everyone like Xiao Zifeng was. Instead, I get flamed online and chased and beaten in real life. I don't get it. Why is everyone so lenient with Xiao Zifeng but so harsh with me? The entertainment industry is too damn hard. I'm quitting. Whoever wants to do it can do it. They might as well find Xiao Zifeng and bring him back. Then a gentle female voice spoke. Yunhang, don't talk like that. Aren't you and Director Xie in love? Just act pitiful with her. Let her use her connections to help you through this. Suddenly, Xiao Yunhang raised his voice. Who said I love Xie Qingwan? I don't like her at all. If Xiao Zifeng didn't love her, I wouldn't have bothered throwing myself at her. Mom, I just can't stand that Xiao Zifeng has everything. Whatever he has, I'm going to steal it. As long as it's Xiao Zifeng's, I'll take it. Xie Qingwan stood outside the door, Xiao Yunhang's words echoing in her mind. She took a deep breath, suppressing her rage, and pushed the door open as if nothing had happened. Xiao Yunhang on the bed and Ms. Su sitting beside him looked over at the same time. Both were stunned for a second, then tried to stay calm. Ms. Su greeted her. Director Z, you're here to see Yunhang? I won't get in the way of your time together. Hearing this, Xie Qingwan gave a polite smile. Ms. Su stood up, patted Xiao Yunhang's hand, and tucked in his blanket. Don't worry. Did you forget that Director Z? He patted Xiao Yunhang's hand. He tucked the blanket around Xiao Yunhang's feet again. Don't worry. You forgot that Director Z actually likes you very much. Hearing this, some color finally returned to Xiao Yunhang's deathly pale face. Xie Qingwan watched Ms. Su and Xiao Yunhang whispering, then watched Ms. Su walk toward the door. She suddenly said, Auntie, Zifeng suddenly quit the industry and has been MIA for so long. Have you worried about him? Ms. Su's steps faltered, feeling inexplicably guilty. She gripped the doorknob and looked back. Of course. Zifeng is my son after all. As his mother, how could I not worry about my own son? Xie Qingwan nodded. She didn't say another word. After Ms. Su left, the ward fell silent again. Xie Qingwan sat by the bed and started peeling an apple with a small knife, seemingly lost in thought. Xiao Yunhang, unable to stand her expression, spoke up proactively. Sister Wan, what's wrong? Are you in a bad mood? Xie Qingwan's movement stopped. She looked up at Xiao Yunhang. She used to think his ability to read her was because he liked her so much that he noticed every mood swing. But now, Sister Qingwan, you... Seeing Xie Qingwan staring at him without speaking, Xiao Yunhang grew increasingly uneasy. Then, Xie Qingwan smiled. She put down the half-peeled apple and spoke in a gentle tone. Yunhang, do you know what price people pay for lying to me? The moment those words dropped, Xiao Yunhang's inner dread reached its peak. Only one thought crossed his mind. I'm cooked. Xie Qingwan knows everything. It's all over now. Xie Qingwan raised her hand. The cold, glinting knife traced a line near Xiao Yunhang's injured forehead. Yunhang, you just said you wanted to quit the industry. I'll give you exactly what you want. After saying that, she plunged the knife directly into that award. Quit the industry. I'll grant your wish. After saying that, she plunged the knife directly into the half-oxidized apple. Watching Xie Qingwan's movements, Xiao Yunhang was suddenly speechless. He only felt fear, a deep, primal fear, even though Xie Qingwan hadn't done anything yet. Even though she had only said 2 sentences. Sister Qingwan... Xie Qingwan made a hush gesture, then stood up, her tone cruel. Don't beg for mercy. Don't try to make excuses for yourself. It'll only make things worse for you. Xiao Yunhang immediately shut his mouth tight. Xie Qingwan didn't look at him again and turned to leave. Outside, Assistant Xiao Xin and Manager Luo Rui looked solemn. PR department, stop the whitewashing for Xiao Yunhang. Use the Wildfire Band's official account to release the evidence of his lip syncing. State that after an internal investigation, we've decided to permanently expel Xiao Yunhang. All my joint activities with him are cancelled. Her expression was icy. The Xie family will pay all breach of contract fees. Xiao Xin and Luo Rui replied in unison, yes. Meanwhile, the sound of someone falling echoed from the ward, followed by Xiao Yunhang's cries. Sister Qingwan, don't you love me? How can you do this to me? Xie Qingwan didn't look back, answering coldly, what makes you think you're worthy of my love? In an instant, Xiao Yunhang lost all hope. Half an hour later, inside the Rolls-Royce. Are you sure Xiao Zifeng is in the US right now? Xie Qingwan's brow was tightly furrowed. The assistant replied firmly, yes, Director Z. You asked me to find young Master Xiao's flight information. Although it took some time, young Master Xiao indeed took a flight 4 days ago, landing in San Francisco before heading to Philadelphia. Hearing this, Xie Qingwan clenched her fist. The assistant added, I've already had the private jet waiting at the Siez. So the assistant added, I've already had the private jet waiting on the rooftop of the Siez entertainment building. If you want to go now, before he could finish, Xie Qingwan interrupted. Go. 16 hours later, Philadelphia, USA, the top floor of the Ritz-Carlton apartments. I was sitting on the sofa, aimlessly watching TV. My phone nearby was auto-playing domestic news, one headline after another. I was about to pick it up and close the app when I heard the female broadcaster say, famous singer Xie Qingwan took a private jet this afternoon. According to her assistant, her itinerary today was to Philadelphia, USA. However, the plane encountered a storm over the ocean and accidentally crashed into the sea. Her whereabouts remain unknown. I was in disbelief. I immediately opened Google to search for information. The results were all the same. News of Xie Qingwan's disappearance at sea. Refusing to believe it, I opened domestic apps, but the results were identical to Google's. Even the 3 teammates from Wildfire Band had come out to plead for rescue help. In an instant, my heart felt frozen. The phone slipped from my hand and slid into the gap in the sofa. I never imagined that hearing news of Xie Qingwan would end up like this. Just then, the doorbell rang. One ring after another, as if urging something. I walked over, thinking it was the apartment manager. But standing outside was Xie Qingwan, her arm in a cast and sling, leaning on a crutch. For a second, I doubted my own eyes. It felt impossible. Xie Qingwan? Outside, she threw away the crutch. She opened her arms. Surprise! The only answer she got was a bang. The heavy sound of the door slamming, Xie Qingwan nearly getting her nose hit, was stunned. Xie Qingwan nearly getting her nose hit was stunned. Inside the door, I couldn't regain my composure for a long time. I walked quickly to the sofa and started searching for my phone everywhere. That was definitely Xie Qingwan outside. that means the news reports were wrong, or rather, the news wasn't entirely wrong. I clenched my hands, but then I saw Xiao Yunhang's name on the trending topics. I clicked on the tag, Xiao Yunhang sun-kissed boy fraud. It was actually a keyword about a male version of a green tea bitch or white lotus. The top post was a leak from a marketing account. It posted the chat logs between Xiao Yunhang and Xie Qingwan from the past 2 months. In the dense screenshots, it was almost always Xiao Yunhang taking the initiative to hit on her and flirt. He even sent photos of his abs and bare chest. Xie Qingwan went from ignoring him at first, to being swayed, to gradually falling for it. The journey of her heart was crystal clear. Below, I couldn't tell if it was netizens or fans commenting. I'm telling you, no one could resist such obvious thirst traps. I just didn't expect that even a player like Xie Qingwan would get scammed. After all that drama, the only truly tragic one is Xiao Zifeng, whose own brother tried to steal his girl. Xiao Yunhang, Xie Qingwan, I really don't know which of you can face Xiao Zifeng. I feel so stupid for defending Xiao Yunhang before. I wish I could travel back in time and slap myself. He's so evil, knowing she was his brother's girlfriend, and still throwing himself at her. No way, you guys don't actually think Xie Qingwan and Xiao Zifeng were actually dating, do you? With her reputation, I bet she was just playing with him. They weren't a real couple, just friends with benefits at most. But under this comment, the Weibo user Wildfire Band Xie Qingwan replied, "Your bet doesn't mean jack. Xiao Zifeng and I were a real legit couple. He wasn't just my boyfriend. I was planning to propose to him, but now my husband-to-be has run away." Looking at these words, I suddenly didn't know how to feel about Xie Qingwan. Once, I desperately wanted her to go public with our relationship, but now I only find it troublesome. Sliding my finger down, I saw Xiao Yunhang's apology video. In the video, Xiao Yunhang looked incredibly haggard. "Hello everyone. Everything that has happened feels like a lifetime ago. I'm truly sorry that my actions have affected so many people. Here, I sincerely apologize to the public. As a public figure and a singer, I set a bad example and committed an unforgivable error in principle. I have let down the fans who supported me, and I've caused significant losses and trouble for the Wildfire Band. At this point, I accept all punishments. I will quit the entertainment industry and never appear in public again. I beg netizens and fans to show some mercy and give me and my family some space to live. I will use my actions to make up for my mistakes. Finally, thank you for patiently watching this video." The video ended and autoplayed fan edits of Xiao Yunhang's lip syncing, listening to my own voice. Compared to Xiao Yunhang's tone-deaf singing, I suddenly felt like laughing. I didn't know if this was a sweet after the bitter moment. The truth was out. Just then, the door, tone-deaf singing. I suddenly felt like laughing. I didn't know if this was a sweet after the bitter moment. The truth was out. Just then, the sharp doorbell rang again. Ye Qingwan's voice came through. Through the intercom system, she said, "Zifeng, I'm hurt. Can you let me in so I can say a few words? I've broken it off with Xiao Yunhang. There won't be any other men in the future." I pursed my lips. I walked over and directly cut the power to the intercom. I'm not heartless. Otherwise, I wouldn't have felt that sharp, suffocating pain when I saw the news of her missing at sea. But I'm not without self-respect either. Since I decided to leave, I don't want any more ties to the past. One door apart, yet it felt like thousands of miles. Xie Qingwan leaned against the wall, looking at the closed door with disappointment. Her fractured arm and leg were throbbing with pain now, but she didn't want to leave like this. She knew I must have seen the news about the plane crash and her being missing at sea. That's why she ignored the doctors' and assistants' protests and rushed to my door immediately just to explain in person. But I wasn't willing to let her in. Xie Qingwan sighed and slowly slid down the wall to sit on the floor. In her pocket, her phone vibrated incessantly. Messages from manager Luo Rui, assistant Xiao Xin, doctors, and her parents flooded in. Luo Rui messaged, "Xiao Yunhang has announced his retirement now. Ms. Su and Mr. Xiao both say his mental state is very poor. He's afraid to go out and is paranoid at home. He even shows signs of self-harm." Assistant Xiao Xin said, "Sister Wan, I've synced with the US branch office. Your new place is bought right across from Brother Zifeng's. The cleaning crew has already finished. The code has been changed. It's the one you usually use, bought across from Brother Zifeng's. The house has been cleaned. The code is the one you often use back home." The doctor messaged, "Ms. Z, a fracture is no joke. I suggest you return to the hospital as soon as possible. If you experience severe pain, please don't just rely on strong painkillers." Father Xie also sent an urgent message. "Nonsense. Get your butt home right now." Mother Xie said, "Are you hurt? Where are you? Are you okay? Mom knows you care about Zifeng, but your health is most important. You should face Zifeng with a healthy body and ask for his forgiveness." Forgiveness. Xie Qingwan silently chewed on those words. She admitted that, When the plane was going down and the pilot strapped the parachute onto her, I was the only one in her mind. Even during those short yet eternal tens of seconds jumping toward the sea, she saw visions of me. The phantom of our last meeting 4 days ago, falling into the sea, salty water rushing into her nose and mouth right before she lost consciousness. The sight of the ocean and the rescue team appearing during that life and death moment. Jie Qingwan's heart was thinking of me and her lips were whispering my name. Does she love me? She does, but she doesn't understand what love is. Love is invisible. You can't see or touch it. By the time you realize it's there, it seems too late. Jie Qingwan looked at the closed door and suddenly felt like she had run out of moves. Normally, she could call the manager to force the door open, or act spoiled to make me soften. But then what? A wave of deep confusion flashed in her eyes. She didn't know how to ask for my forgiveness. She only knew I was still a bit angry. Why did she only know how to ask for forgiveness? She only knew I was still a bit angry. Why, in just 4 days, had I become so heartless? Even seeing her covered in injuries, I still coldly shut her out without a single word of concern. Thinking about it, she felt a bit aggrieved. She shifted her leg, raised her uninjured hand, and pounded hard on my door. Zifeng! She felt a sting in her palm. She wasn't sure if I could hear her. She spoke softly. Zifeng? I know I shouldn't have treated our relationship like a game, but when I said I wanted to marry you that day, I meant it. You're the only person in my life who ever made me think about marriage. For 8 years, we were a couple for the cameras, and you always thought what I said was fake. But it wasn't. At every award ceremony, when I said, I can't live without you, or you're my muse, I meant it. Truly. I didn't hear a word of this. I don't know if it was because of her presence, but I slept terribly that night. I even had a dream. I dreamed I was still back home, the truth hadn't come out, and she still liked Xiao Yunhang. Early the next morning, I woke up feeling dizzy and lightheaded. I was nearly late for famous composer Richard Daniel Pour's class. I splashed some water on my face, grabbed my bag, and rushed out. As the door opened, Jie Qingwan fell straight forward. A loud thud followed. It looked painful, but Jie Qingwan had no reaction at all. I couldn't help but frown. Jie Qingwan? She remained motionless with no response. I knelt down. Jie Qingwan's face was flushed deep red. Fine beads of sweat covered her forehead and temples. I reached out my hand to carefully touch her forehead. Burning. I instantly forgot about carefully touching her forehead. I instantly forgot whose class I had today and called the family doctor immediately. Half an hour later, Ali, a Chinese-American doctor, arrived in a hurry with her medical kit. Wiping her sweat, she said, I thought something happened to you. I shook my head and gestured for her to check on Jie Qingwan's condition on the sofa. Maybe from living in the US too long, Ali spoke very dramatically. Oh my god, this person is practically burning to ashes. Her arm is fractured, her leg is fractured, and there's so much blunt force trauma. Why isn't she staying in a hospital instead of coming here to you? Facing this question, I didn't know where to start, so I kept it simple. She's my ex. She came from China to get back together with me. Instantly, Ali's mouth formed an O shape. While applying cooling measures, she carefully studied Jie Qingwan's features, a very classic Oriental beauty. After giving Jie Qingwan medicine, Ali winked at me. Your ex is so gorgeous. Why did you never tell me? I was speechless. I've only known you for 7 days. Ali didn't care. But I thought we were best friends already. Shouldn't best friends tell each other everything? She added, besides, what kind of romantic love-hate drama do you two have that she'd rather die just to find you? I frowned. Die? Yeah, Ali pulled back Jie Qingwan's collar, showing the bruises on her body. I bet she passed out last night. Her body gave her a warning, yet she wouldn't leave. Does she not know that people can easily die in this condition? I fell silent, looking at Jie Qingwan's pale face, looking at her pale face. I knew she couldn't be unaware, but from 18 to 27, that was just her personality. Once she set her mind on something, she wouldn't stop until she hit a wall. She'd do it even if it killed her. I suddenly felt the atmosphere becoming unbearable. I grabbed my bag and told Ali, I'm going to class. Watch her for me at home. If she wakes up or any problems occur, call me directly. Okay? After leaving, I stood in the elevator watching the numbers go down, feeling a sense of unreality. Actually, I had no more classes today. I just didn't want to stay in a room with Jie Qingwan. But seeing her like that, I couldn't just throw her out and ignore her. I knew perfectly well this might be another one of her bitter trap schemes. I got into the hotel car. Arriving near Independence Hall, I bought a bag of wheat and tossed it to the pigeons. Just then, a surprised voice sounded behind me. Xiao Zifeng? Are you Xiao Zifeng? I turned slowly. Several Chinese girls were there, faces full of excitement. Zifeng! I'm your fan. I've liked you since your debut. I finally met you. I was stunned for a moment. That sense of unreality felt like seawater. surrounding me from all sides to the point where my expression froze. But the girls didn't mind at all. They just took out merch dedicated to me. Wow. I'm so lucky. Seeing that you're still living well makes me so happy. You don't know how worried we were after you posted that retirement Weibo. We were afraid you'd do something stupid, but others said you definitely wouldn't. You've always been a brave boy. The girls were like little sparrows, chirping around me, surrounding me. In each of their eyes, there was a glimmer of tears, but they were still smiling. They passionately poured out their care and worry from the past few days. In this moment, a steady strength suddenly entered my heart. I curled my lips and proactively reached out. Do you have a pen? Want a photo? The girls froze, expressions of pure ecstasy blooming on their faces. Then they waved their hands. One girl explained, better not. I'm afraid we wouldn't be able to resist posting it online. Meeting you has made us happy enough. We don't want to expose your whereabouts and let others disturb you. Another girl chimed in immediately. Yeah, we know that before you make any decision, you must have thought it through many times. Wherever you are or whatever you plan to do, we'll wait for you to say it yourself. Until then, we will keep the secret for you. Finally, the girl who looked the most timid and shy took out a poster. I recognized it at a glance. It was my own limited edition poster from 8 years ago when I first debuted. It was only palm-sized, a random giveaway. The girl's tone was solemn. Zifeng, I've kept this poster with me all these years. Originally, it was to inspire me, trying to be a brave person like you, but now I want to give it to you. I want to tell you, no matter what happens, don't forget we support you and love you. We're always behind you. Most importantly, you are still you. The other two girls echoed, yes, yes. Don't feel like you're not good enough. Don't feel like you did anything wrong. We believe in you. And please, you must believe in yourself too. We'll all wait for you to come back. As long as you're willing, we'll wait forever. We believe in you. And please, you must believe in yourself too. We'll all wait for you to come back. As long as you're willing, we'll wait forever. By the end, the girl's eyes were slightly red. I could no longer hold back my surging emotions. With a slight choke in my voice, I said, "Can I give you guys a hug?" Of course, they agreed without hesitation. So I took a step forward. I gave each of the three girls a solemn and cherished hug. I still insisted on taking a photo with them. I know you won't post it. Let's keep it as a memento. When we meet again in the future, we can look at it. By then, I will definitely recognize the three of you and hug you once more. This time, the girls didn't refuse me. I also treated them to a meal at a fancy restaurant and booked a car for them to return to their hotel. Only then did I slowly walk back home. I suddenly had the courage to face Xie Qingwan. The girls were right. I wasn't the one who did anything wrong. So why should I be the one running away? An hour later, at the Ritz-Carlton apartment, before I could even press the fingerprint lock, the door opened from the inside. Ye Qingwan stood straight at the door, leaning on double crutches. She opened her mouth but didn't know what to say. I carried the groceries, calm and collected. Move. Do you feel better? Hearing this, Xie Qingwan felt a bit aggrieved but didn't dare act out. She could only follow behind me step by step. Do you feel sorry for me? Then are you willing to forgive me? I tossed the groceries into the kitchen sink and turned to look at Xie Qingwan. To say I didn't feel sorry would be a lie. After all, it's been 8 years, not 8 days. Even with a biting dog, it's impossible to lose feelings so quickly. But there's no forgiveness between us. It has always been unrequited love on my part. So it was normal for you to treat me as a game or a bed warmer, but I can't love you anymore. Xie Qingwan froze at those words. A flash of hurt crossed her eyes. But I can't love you anymore. Xie Qingwan froze at those words. A flash of hurt crossed her eyes. But more than that, it was a surge of spontaneous anger. She didn't understand. She had chased me all the way to America. Why was I still refusing to turn back or forgive? Xie Qingwan stared at me fixedly, her lowered eyelashes trembling slightly. How can you say such hurtful words? She lifted her eyes and her rims were actually red. You clearly loved me for 8 years. How can you just stop loving me like that? I remained unmoved, my tone cool. Xie Qingwan, so you knew all along that I loved you for 8 years. Then what did those 8 years mean to you? A simp? An on-call bedwarmer? Or just a pathetic clown? I didn't, Xie Qingwan retorted aggrievedly. I never thought of you that way. I didn't understand anything before, but I knew you were different. I took a deep breath, looking into her eyes. Right, I was different. I sneered. After all, you said yourself I was clean, sensible, and knew my place. Someone who saved you trouble. Xie Qingwan was instantly speechless. I continued. I know as long as you want to. You can find me no matter where I go. But Xie Qingwan, I don't want to and I won't go back to how we were. The 8 years with you were my days of misery. As my voice fell, the massive space fell completely silent. Only the sound of each other's breathing could be heard. After a long silence, Xie Qingwan's voice was hoarse. Do you hate me that much? Hate wouldn't be it. I turned on the faucet and started washing the vegetables. Amidst the sound of flowing water, I said, I just think we're both adults. Love and hate aren't that hard to let go. Besides, we're still young. Letting go and exiting each other's lives now is actually better for both of us. Watching my back, Xie Qingwan suddenly couldn't hold back, better for both of us. Watching my back, Xie Qingwan suddenly lost control of her emotions and reached out to hug me. But Zifeng, I don't want to let go. I don't want to exit. Her hot breath fanned against my back, her tone pitiful. One night as husband and wife, 100 nights of gratitude. Didn't you say my body was your favorite? Xie Qingwan kissed that patch of skin she had longed for. From now on, I'll be your simp. I'll be your bed warmer, okay? Immediately after, she uttered the most humble request she had ever made in her life. I'm begging you, give me this chance. Let me be your lover. I originally intended to be lenient since she was a patient. I just treat it like being bitten by a dog. But hearing that, I couldn't help turning to look into her eyes. Are you serious? Xie Qingwan replied without hesitation. Of course, I never take back my words. I looked her body up and down. I gave a sarcastic look. Just based on how you are now, I really don't think much of you. Hearing this, Xie Qingwan got anxious. I'll get better soon. You forgot? I used to get 200,000 for a 1-minute appearance. Even if I sold myself, I'd be worth at least 100,000 plus. You can't look down on me. I turned back to finish washing the rest of the fruits and vegetables. Don't stick to me, I said icily. The biggest taboo for being someone's lover is not knowing how to read the room and getting horny anytime, anywhere. Xie Qingwan's ears flushed red and she backed away. This is my first time being a lover. I'm still an intern, right? Can't you be a bit more patient with me? I started prepping the food for dinner, answering in between tasks. No. I looked at Xie Qingwan again, my expression natural. You need to understand, I will only sleep with you. I won't be with you. So don't get any funny ideas. Although Xie Qingwan was a bit unwilling, she still agreed reluctantly. I got it. Then do you have any other requirements? No. Are there any rules I need to follow? I thought about it carefully. I took out my phone. Let's add each other back. In the future, you can only appear before me when I call you. Hearing this, Xie Qingwan was half happy and half sad. She looked aggrieved. When we're not sleeping during the day, can't you just treat me as a normal pursuer who likes you? After seeing the friend request, I clicked accept and continued searing the steak. I usually never get back with an ex. If it weren't for your skills in bed, do you think I'd still want you? As the words fell, Xie Qingwan limped to the living room and sat heavily on the sofa. How had she never noticed before? That I could speak in a way that stabs right at the heart? She originally wanted to sulk, but her gaze was unconsciously drawn to me again. In her sight was the silhouette of me busy in the kitchen, while the scent of steak and parsley lingered at the tip of her nose. In the quiet time where we didn't disturb each other, she suddenly understood the word happiness. If Xiao Yunheng hadn't appeared, would this warm scene have continued? Xie Qingwan felt regret. Suddenly, her phone began to vibrate. The caller ID showed Xiao Yunheng. For some reason, Xie Qingwan subconsciously frowned. Her intuition, subconscious, and physical instincts all told her that she didn't want to answer this call. But her manager Luo Rui had told her on WeChat that Xiao Yunheng's mental state was very poor. Not knowing what triggered him, he actually started 2 live streams. They were short, only lasting a few minutes before ending. However, he spoke ill of me during the stream, and even mentioned his relationship with her. Xie Qingwan looked at the relationship. Xie Qingwan glanced at me while I was cooking, finally stood up, and limped to the balcony. As Xiao Yunheng persistently called for the 4th time, she finally picked up. As if he hadn't expected her to answer, it was actually quiet for a long time at first, with only the faint static of the line and chaotic breathing. Xie Qingwan spoke impatiently. Xiao Yunheng, what else do you want? On the other end, Xiao Yunheng's voice was hoarse. Sister Qingwan, did you find my brother? You went to the US just to find Xiao Zifeng, right? Did you make up with him? Are you living together now? Then what about me? What do I do? He laughed somewhat neurotically, then sobbed in a low voice. Sister Qingwan, do you really not have even a little bit of feeling for me? You wanted me to quit. You had them blacklist me. I accepted it all. But why did you have people retaliate against my parents? Do you know they go to my mom's restaurant every day to protest? Or they leave bad reviews to drive away other guests. They've gone crazy. My mom cries every day. Sister Qingwan, I beg you to let me go, okay? Xie Qingwan was completely confused. She only felt that Xiao Yunheng had indeed lost his mind. Her voice was icy. I didn't do any of the things you mentioned. Xiao Yunheng, have you ever thought that the reason your mother is being treated this way is because you did something wrong? And because she did something wrong too? She looked into the distance, her heart actually aching slightly. Your brother has been in the US for 7 days. Has your mother cared about him at all? The people going to the restaurant might be netizens seeking justice, or fans of mine or your brother's. They just want to help me vent my anger. Hearing this, Xiao Yunhang fell silent. Xie Qingwan continued. I will have people handle this matter. But not because of you, but because of Zifeng. He has always valued relationships. Otherwise, he wouldn't have quit. Between him and your mother. It shouldn't be for us outsiders to intervene or destroy things, but I'm also warning you. Don't start any more live streams to slander Zifeng, or I really won't show mercy. After saying that, she abruptly hung up the phone. When she turned around, I was leaning against the wall, not knowing how long I had been listening. I took the initiative to break the silence. Xiao Yunhang's call? Xie Qingwan looked at me, her expression softening a bit. Don't worry. He can barely save himself now. He can't make you unhappy ever again. As our eyes met, my gaze was somewhat cold. Have you ever thought that Xiao Yunhang and I actually lived in peace for so many years? If it weren't for you, he wouldn't have been able to make me unhappy at all. The fact that you chose him so easily is what hurt me the most. I curled my lips. Xie Qingwan. If you keep thinking the problem between us is Xiao Yunhang, then you are dead wrong. The culprit behind us reaching this point has been you from start to finish. Xie Qingwan froze, feeling as if her heart was being tightly gripped by an invisible hand, aching incessantly. At this moment, she truly understood exactly what kind of unspeakable wound stood between her and me. She opened her mouth, but felt that anything she said now would be hollow. I seemed to see her embarrassment. I said flatly, dinner is ready, come eat. After saying that, I turned and walked toward the dining room. This meal was eaten in silence. Finally, Xie Qingwan proactively asked to do the dishes. I didn't refuse. The sound of running water rang out again. This time, there was the added clatter of bowls and chopsticks. She asked to do the dishes. I didn't refuse. The sound of running water rang out again. This time, there was the added clatter of bowls and chopsticks. When had the great Miss Z ever done such manual labor? A bowl dropped or a plate chipped if she wasn't careful. I turned a deaf ear, only giving a cold reminder when Xie Qingwan was panicking. If you can't even do the basics, it's going to be very hard to be a qualified lover. Xie Qingwan wiped the sweat from her brow with her good hand. I'll learn. Don't throw me away. I gave a simple response and stood up to walk toward the bedroom, not forgetting to instruct. You can leave after you're done washing up. I don't want to see you when I wake up in the morning. Xie Qingwan was in disbelief. I'm injured, and you're still kicking me out? I turned back to look at her. If you're injured, you should go to a hospital. I added, oh right. I called a doctor for you today. I'll send you the bill later. Remember to pay me back. Xie Qingwan was speechless for a moment. I smiled brilliantly. In the future, it's better for lovers to keep things separate. You sleep with me, I give you money, but don't talk about feelings. After saying that, I slammed the bedroom door shut. Xie Qingwan stood there, actually laughing out of sheer anger, but there was nothing she could do to me now. She could only finish the dishes, take her crutches, and limp away. Looking back at that closed door, she secretly vowed, Xiao Zifeng, one day I will make you fall in love with me again. Early the next morning, I went straight to the Curtis Institute of Music. All day long, I was either in class or buried in the library with no time to look at my phone. Until the sun set and the reddish glow of dusk covered the earth. I finally stretched and walked out of the library. But at the library entrance, I saw someone unexpected. My former female bodyguard, Song Shuiying. Song Shuiying was in a trench coat, looking like someone unexpected. Former female bodyguard, Song Shuiying. Song Shuiying was in a trench coat, looking travel-worn. Her throat bobbed. There was an indescribable longing and yearning in her eyes. Young master, my face immediately darkened. I walked straight past Song Shuiying. I don't care how you found this place, but I have nothing to do with you or the Xiao family anymore. As the words fell, Song Shuiying made the most outrageous move of her career. She firmly grabbed my wrist. Young master, I was wrong before. After you quit and disappeared, I was always worried about you. She paused, her voice incredibly humble. I only asked the young master for one more chance. All I want in this life is to stay by the young master's side. I shook off Song Shuiying's hand without hesitation. A cold light flickered in my eyes. What makes you think I'd still want a stray dog that betrayed me? I tapped Song Shuiying's shoulder, repeating the words I said that day. Song Shuiying's face turned pale, and she actually seemed to be swaying. She bit her lip. Young master said, once unfaithful. Never used again. You will never want me again. I nodded approvingly. At least your memory is still good, but don't pester me again. Otherwise, I'll call the police. After saying that, I walked straight toward the Porsche Cayenne parked by the side of the road. Song Shuiying watched as another woman opened the car door for me and shielded me as I sat in the back seat. She felt a sharp pain in her heart. She clenched her fists, her eyes full of agony and refusal to accept this. This time Song Shuiying wanted to chase after me, but I didn't give her the chance. Meanwhile, in the car, I looked at Xie Qingwan, who was trying her best to make herself invisible with a touch of speechlessness. What's the use of pretending now? If you had listened to me, you should be getting out of the car right now. Hearing this, Xie Qingwan immediately sat up straight. She said pitifully, I just wanted to see you more. I'm satisfied now. Body, she said pitifully, I just wanted to see you more. I felt an extreme headache. I said coldly, since you won't listen to me, our relationship can end. Xie Qingwan was stunned. Then, as if she had made a decision, she opened the car door. I'm going. I won't make this mistake again in the future. I closed my eyes and didn't look at her. The car door was gently closed. The driver in the front asked in fluent English, Master Xiao, are we going straight home? I replied, no, to the Pen Museum. I have an appointment. Yes, Master Xiao. The Porsche Cayenne started up, leaving Xie Qingwan and Song Shuiying behind. Xie Qingwan and Song Shuiying both watched the car drive away until it disappeared. Song Shuiying took the initiative to walk towards Xie Qingwan. Miss C, let's talk. Xie Qingwan didn't give her a kind look, saying icily, what right does a fired bodyguard have to talk to me? Having her sore spot poked, Song Shuiying's jaw tightened. She took out a small flash drive. Master Xiao Yunhang asked me to give this to you. He said you'd be interested in the contents. Yet Qingwan's brow furrowed, but she still couldn't help mocking. So after all that chasing to the US, you're just doing work for your master. No wonder Zifeng felt disgusted seeing you. Song Shuiying saw that Xie Qingwan was covered in injuries and just endured it. This is between the young master and me, nothing to do with you. She added, if Miss C doesn't want to see it or talk, then I'll just send this flash drive directly to the young master. Xie Qingwan's heart skipped a beat, and she had to drop her high and mighty act. Find any cafe, say what you have to say quickly. 20 minutes later, at the Liberty Lands Cafe, Song Shuiying took out her ultra-thin laptop. And plugged in the flash drive. On the screen, Xiao Yunhang was sneakily setting up a camera and taking several photos with the sleeping Xie Qingwan. Then the screen went black, and it was actually the clip of Xie Qingwan passionately kissing Xiao Yunhang after getting drunk at Lan Kwai Fong. Xie Qingwan's face darkened just from seeing these. She looked at Song Shuiying. What does Xiao Yunhang mean? What exactly does he want to do? Song Shuiying closed her laptop unhurriedly. I don't know. After all, I'm no longer responsible for protecting him. If Miss Xie wants to figure out what's going on, you should go back to China to find Master Xiao Yunhang and resolve this in person. Xie Qingwan sneered. You want me to go back so you can return to Zifeng's side, right? Don't think I can't see your feelings for Zifeng. Her tone was sinister. 8 years ago. I couldn't stand you, this 24-hour on-call personal bodyguard. Xie Qingwan, filled with rage, lowered her voice. Song Shuiying, even if Zifeng doesn't forgive me, it will never be your turn in this lifetime. You hear me? Even though Song Shuiying had a good temper, she couldn't help it at this moment. Miss C, if you really want to win back the young master, you'd better rein in that arrogant, bullheaded temper of yours. In Hong Kong, everyone will suck up to you, but this is America. And I wasn't afraid of you before, and I'm not afraid of you now. I am the young master's bodyguard. I will not allow anyone to hurt him again. Xie Qingwan looked coldly at Song Shuiying, still with no intention of backing down. Then I'll also tell you, as long as I'm here, it's impossible for you to return to his side. She reached out. Give me the flash drive. If we meet again, don't talk nonsense. Don't talk nonsense if we meet again. Song Shuiying pulled out the flash drive and tossed it into her palm before getting up to leave. Good luck, Miss Xie. Xie Qingwan rubbed the small piece of metal, her face grim. Then she put away the drive, took out her phone, and dialed the assistant's number. Go do something. Keep an eye on Xiao Yunhang. If he causes any more trouble, send him straight to Qingshan Hospital. Qingshan Hospital is a famous psychiatric hospital in Hong Kong that accepts both voluntary and involuntary patients. After hanging up the phone and looking at the photo of me singing on stage on her screen, Xie Qingwan sighed slightly. Her finger traced my profile. Zifeng, what exactly do I have to do for you to forgive me? Meanwhile, at the Pen Museum, I met up with a few Chinese friends briefly. After exchanging gifts, I strolled through the museum alone. Just then, my phone kept vibrating. The caller ID was actually an unknown domestic number. My phone had SIM cards from 2 countries, but logically, no one should know my new domestic number. I let the calls go to voicemail several times, but the other party was persistent. Frowning, I had to walk outside the museum to pick up. Hello? Who is this, please? The other side was quiet for a few seconds, and then Ms. Su's hoarse voice rang out. Zifeng, is it really you? How can you be so heartless? Hearing this familiar voice that sounded 10 years older, my mood was somewhat complicated. I didn't know how to answer. I could only remain silent as Ms. Su spoke. Ms. Su said again, I know I've wronged you over the years, but Yunhang is your biological younger brother. Can you really bear to watch him be driven to his death? Are you really so heartless that you don't care about your own blood and kin at all? Hearing this, I felt helpless and speechless. I was naive. I thought you really knew how poorly. I've been living all these years and finally remembered that you are also my mother. That's why you called me. But as expected, it was only for Xiao Yunhang. Ms. Su, do you really not feel even a little bit of heartache for me? Not a little bit of guilt? Yesterday, I heard Xie Qingwan talking to Xiao Yunhang. Even Xie Qingwan said that Xiao Yunhang actually had everything. He had the love of you and Mr. Xiao and a privileged life. It was his own jealousy that made him ruin a winning hand. I did nothing wrong. Ms. Su, I don't understand how I pushed Xiao Yunhang. I did exactly as you said. I gave him all my resources, and I even gave him both of you. I left the family and cut ties just to make room for your family of three. I suddenly couldn't control my emotions. I even quit the industry and ran all the way to America. What more do I owe you? How else have I wronged you? On the other end, Ms. Su seemed stunned, but my suppressed emotions of many years had already broken the levee. Surging, roaring, and pouring out, I forced back the tremor in my voice. Ms. Su, the decision I regret most was choosing to follow you when I was 8. If time could restart, I don't think I'd choose anyone. I'd rather live in Tuanwan my whole life, even if I was a nobody. It'd be better than this. Ms. Su panicked. Zifeng, Mom didn't... I interrupted. Mom, what? Do you really think I couldn't see anything? I was young back then, but I wasn't an idiot. Back then, the two of us went out to sell street food every day. The smell of sampan kanji soaked into... I was young back then, but I wasn't an idiot. Back then, the two of us went out to sell street food every day. The smell of sampan kanji soaked into every piece of my clothing. But you never proactively bought me new clothes. Those expensive brand name bags, did you really think I wouldn't remember? All those new clothes and shoes were sent to Xiao Yunhang, weren't they? Miss Suzu couldn't argue. I continued. Haven't you always wondered why I stopped calling you Mom and started calling you Ms. Uxu? Because I saw through you. On the night Xiao Yunhang's restaurant officially opened, when you were drunk and kept calling his name. And when I found out you had so many photo albums filled only with him, I accepted that you didn't love me. How pathetic. We were both carried for 10 months. We were both lives nurtured by your own blood, yet you actually don't love me. My own mother actually doesn't love me. Do you know how I got through that night? Mom, do you know? From then on, every time I hear the word mom, it's like a curse. A living execution aimed right at me, and you are the ultimate executioner. You gave me this unbearable pain twice. Back home, Ms. Gusu gripped her phone, her lips trembling uncontrollably. She already knew. When was the second execution? She wanted so badly to speak, to beg, to plead with me to stop talking. But I was determined to tear off all these disgusting masks. My voice turned cold. The second time was when you held Xiao Yunhang's hand, put it in Mr. Xiao's hand, and said you wanted to remarry. Mom, I'm 27 this year, but I still want to ask, why? Why couldn't you love me like you love my brother? Was I not sensible enough? But if even your love is conditional, then whose love can I ever believe in? The things you can't have in your youth? If your love is conditional, whose love can I ever believe in? The things you can't have in your youth will haunt you for a lifetime. Childhood trauma isn't a temporary rainstorm, but a lifelong dampness. In countless midnight dreams, I've questioned my mother just like this and questioned my father. Do I feel relieved? No. When misfortune falls upon you, endurance is painful and resistance is also painful. These words I had rehearsed hundreds and thousands of times in my heart. When they finally came out, they felt like a red-hot iron, searing through my internal organs inch by inch. To hurt the enemy, I had to hurt myself. I suddenly felt so tired, as if I had lost all my strength. I heard Ms. Su sobbing uncontrollably on the other end. I heard her say over and over that Mom was wrong. I'm sorry, but Mom, what's the point now? My soul seemed to float above my body, watching that version of me holding the phone with numb, calm eyes. My voice was soft and cold. Mom, this is the last time I will call you Mom. I can't forgive you, because if I do, I'll be betraying my 8-year-old and 16-year-old self. I don't want to see them crying in my dreams anymore. So let our relationship as mother and son end right here. As the words fell, Ms. Su was silent for a long time. I didn't wait any longer. I ended the call directly. I stood alone by the roadside, eyes slightly red. I don't know how long it took for me to calm down, before I called the driver to take me home. Meanwhile, at number 88 Repulse Bay, Hong Kong, Ms. Su gripped her disconnected phone, unable to snap out of it for a long time. Zhao Yunhang looked at his tear-faced mother and felt a bad premonition. Mom, did brother talk back to you again? Don't take it to heart. Didn't you say brother talked back again? Don't take it to heart. Didn't you say that's just his personality? Is he used to it? He's ruined us like this. No wonder he ran so far away. He's really, Miss Su interrupted. Enough of your chatter, Yunhang. For the first time, she scrutinized her younger son with such severity and seriousness. Yunhang, Zifeng is your biological brother. He hasn't wronged you once since you were kids. Why have you always disliked him so much? Xiao Yunhang's heart skipped a beat. A brief flash of confusion appeared in his eyes. Why? He couldn't seem to find an answer himself. Seeing this, Miss Su sighed. I always thought you were the stronger and more sensible one. But I never thought about why your brother had to be strong and sensible at an age when he should have been acting spoiled and innocent with me. Not until today. When he finally told me what was in his heart, did I understand. All these years, I felt I owed it to you. I thought I shouldn't have left you with your father at such a young age. Your father really isn't a careful or steady person. I was afraid you weren't living well. Ms. Su's smile was pale and lonely. But back then, your father was the richest man in Tuanwan. The reason you were awarded to him was because his conditions were so much better than mine. In contrast, I was the one who couldn't give you any financial security or a good life. Your brother was so young when he followed me. Washing dishes and chopping vegetables from dawn till dusk. He suffered so much. Yet I turned a blind eye or took it for granted. I was wrong. Hearing these self-reflective words, a flash of dissatisfaction crossed Xiao Yunhang's eyes. Mom, it's not your fault. It's brother who holds too much of a grudge over such small things. Hating you for so many years over nothing. Ms. Su's lips trembled, her face full of regret. Not a small thing? How could that be a small thing? She looked at Xiao Yunhang and grabbed his hands. Yunhang, since Director Z has gone to America, I also want to go see your brother. There's no such thing as an overnight grudge between a mother and son. Maybe if we clear up the misunderstandings and hate from these years, you two brothers can reconcile as well. Xiao Yunhang burst out laughing. He shook off Miss Su's hand. For the first time, he stopped playing the good boy in front of his mother. Mom, you're so naive. Setting aside whether Xiao Zifeng is willing to reconcile. Did you really think that after things have escalated to this point, I would still bow my head to him? He stared intently at Miss Su. His tone was full of doubt. You made your choice long ago. You hurt him and turned his heart cold long ago. You think by going there, your mother-son bond will come back? Impossible. You should recognize the reality now. I am your only son. You should be protecting me. You should be helping me find a way out. You should make Xiao Zifeng crawl back and apologize to me. Xiao Yunhang's hands trembled incessantly, his expression gradually turning manic. He lowered his head and muttered to himself, how strange. You all clearly love me. Why did you go and love Xiao Zifeng again? Do I have to completely destroy Xiao Zifeng? Do I have to kill him for it to end? Xiao Zifeng, I hate him. I hate him. I want him to feel the pain I'm feeling now. I want him to be utterly disgraced. Amidst his sharp mutterings, Ms. Su finally couldn't take it anymore. She raised her hand and gave Xiao Yunhang a hard slap. Mom! Xiao Yunhang clutched his face, his eyes full of disbelief. Ms. Su's palm, the hand she slapped him with, trembled slightly. Xiao Yunhang, your father and I spoiled you too much. That's why you were pampered into the lawless person you are now, unable to distinguish right from wrong. I'm warning you, don't do anything else to hurt your brother or I won't forgive you. Xiao Yunhang clenched his fist and said nothing. Seeing his teary eyes, Ms. Su immediately felt a bit of regret. She was about to reach out and touch his flushed face, but he turned his head away. Mom, I get it. I definitely won't make you unhappy. For so many years, I've been waiting for you to come pick me up. That's what you promised me. You asked why I hate Xiao Zifeng? This is why. Xiao Yunhang stubbornly lifted his head, not wanting to cry in front of his mother. You made me wait for 18 whole years. Do you know how I felt seeing on TV and on the internet that Xiao Zifeng had become a shining superstar while you stood by his side? Do you know how jealous I was? He suddenly laughed, but it was heavier than crying. I really thought just now that I didn't know why I hated him, but this slap taught me. No child doesn't long for their mother. I hate Xiao Zifeng. But I hate you even more. Hearing this, Ms. Su felt a sharp pain in her heart. She never imagined her two biological sons would both hate her. How much of a failure had she been as a mother? Ms. Su looked at Xiao Yunhang, not knowing how to face him or what to say. After a long while, she said in a trembling voice, I didn't help Zifeng one bit in becoming a star. He reached his status in the industry entirely on his own. And back then, it wasn't that I didn't want to keep you with me. It was that I couldn't. I admit I was biased, but it was because I didn't want you to suffer. Xiao Yunhang said without hesitation, but I was willing to suffer with you. He wiped away the endless tears. As long as I was with mom, I wouldn't have felt it was suffering. At this moment, Miss Su was stunned. Yunhang, but Xiao Yunhang ignored her. He turned around, his voice calm. Mom, I'll listen to you. I won't hurt Xiao Zifeng anymore. But I can't take back what I've already done. What do you mean? Miss Su didn't understand, but Xiao Yunhang said nothing and left. Meanwhile, at the Ritz-Carlton penthouse in Philadelphia, I fell ill as soon as I got home. It seemed as if finally lifting the huge rock off my chest triggered a sudden, severe illness. I called the family doctor Ali. By the time Ali arrived, I was already unconscious from the fever. Originally, Jie Qingwan was at her own place across the hall. After hearing the commotion, she rushed over immediately. She and Ali looked at each other. Why did he suddenly get a fever? Ali shrugged. Maybe you gave it to him. You were burning up like this too back then. Jie Qingwan frowned, leaning on her crutches to look at me while I slept. I sleep very properly, with my hands folded over my lower abdomen. My eyelashes looked long and curled while my eyes were shut tight. Just looking at him, Jie Qingwan felt a massive sense of satisfaction and stability. If it weren't for the fact that I was sick, she might have been even happier. Ali slapped away Jie Qingwan's hand as she tried to touch my cheek. Hey sis, are you really Xiao's ex? Jie Qingwan's face darkened. What do you mean? Who do you think I am to him? Ali smiled nonchalantly and made an X sign with her hands. Don't get mad. Xiao finally fell asleep, and I just don't want you waking him up. As for who you are to him, he told me you're just the ex-girlfriend he broke up with in China, the kind he'd never get back with. But I want to know, since you've told me you're just the ex-girlfriend he broke up with in China, the kind he'd never get back with. But I want to know, who do you think you are to him in your own eyes? Jie Qingwan paused and thought seriously. Right now, I'm just his lover, but I want to be promoted. I want to be his wife. Hearing this, Ali's face curled into an ambiguous smile. She ruthlessly rained on Jie Qingwan's parade. Xiao isn't the type to go back to an ex. I think your promotion is going to be tough. Jie Qingwan frowned, looking at Ali with suspicion. For some reason, she felt hostile toward this witty, humorous woman with a beautiful mixed-race face. Are you really just Zifeng's family doctor? How did you two meet? Ali chose to keep it a mystery. She simply slung her medical kit over her shoulder. You have no standing to ask me that, and I have no obligation to answer your questions. After saying that, she glanced again at me while I slept. Xiao should wake up in about 30 minutes. Before then, you can have the butler bring up some light food. With those words, Ali turned and left without looking back. Though Jie Qingwan was beyond annoyed, she limped to the sofa and made an internal call. She recalled back in Hong Kong what my favorite foods were. Hello? Is there a Chinese chef in the kitchen right now? In half an hour, please send up shrimp roe noodles, 2 custard buns, and a bowl of tangerine peel red bean soup. Oh, and add a fried stuffed 3 treasures. Thanks. Hanging up, Jie Qingwan slowly moved back to my side, doing nothing but watching me quietly. Actually, in the 8 years we lived together, she rarely looked at my features so carefully and quietly. Compared to my biological brother Xiao Yunhang or our mother Su Shiting, my facial contours were more delicate and defined. It was a very striking, sharp kind of handsome.